right, hey everyone. Jammer here from Jammer's Wrestling Magazine Collection. And today, I want to talk about the Wrestling Superstars magazine. It's a Stanley Weston magazine, that Bill After did and everyone involved in those magazines. And I haven't really talked about this magazine, but it's because it's a different kind of magazine. It based its premise, I guess, on the Dream Match, the Superstar Dream Match, and this one is Bruno Sammartino versus Hulk Hogan. So, they kind of give you like a story about what would happen if these two men wrestled each other, because it never happened, right? They tagged in 1987, I believe, at a house show, but they never wrestled each other. But this magazine is done in newsprint style, but it also gave you a colored Superstars photo. This one is of Randy Macho Man Savage, and it gives you some information from the guys who knew Randy Savage the closest, I guess. In this case, it's Jesse Ventura, Adrian Street, Captain Lou Albano, Jerry Lawler, and Jim Cornette. So the magazine was based on that. It was based on like trying to sell, I guess, as much as it could by who they put on the cover. An example is, boom, Superstar Dream Match, Hulk Hogan versus Mike Tyson, right? I mean, Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips fought Rocky Balboa in Rocky 3, and he was a boxer, but that was also just a character. That was Sylvester Stallone playing a boxer. I think the baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson, may have just destroyed Hulk Hogan back in this era. But, that's what kind of made this magazine special. You got to read What If. This one is on Sting, by the way. So some of these do have the posters. Of course, Luger, Eddie Gilbert, Bill Watts, Magnum, and Chris Adams talk about Sting there. But some of these do have the posters, some don't, because I ended up getting them through, whoever or whatever online. But they do give you like so many cool dream matches, and matches that did end up coming true, like Lex Luger versus Randy Savage came true in WCW in all those years later. Also, this match came true years later, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. That's when Ricky turned heel and joined the York Foundation and became Richard Morton. So some of these did actually come true, including even something along the lines of this. Superstar Dream Matches from Winter 86, Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. This would happen eventually in the WWF and WCW. And Wrestling Superstars actually realized that in December 91, when they had Hogan versus Flair, a preview analysis of the Dream Match that's becoming a reality. So, yes, this did happen. These two matches did take place. Let's put these up here. Yeah, to show that. They did happen. As well as this match, too. Hulk Hogan versus Lex Luger took place. That was in WCW, where Lex fought him on Nitro a few times. He even ended Hogan's WCW title reign in 97 for 1 week, of course. But you also get interesting tag dream matches. Like, what if Hulk Hogan and Rick Steamboat fought Randy Savage and Ric Flair? I mean, that would be interesting. Let's be honest. Hogan and Savage had good matches. Hogan and Flair had good matches. Steamboat and Savage had, great matches. Steamboat and Flair had great matches. So that would be interesting to see if that match actually happened. Unfortunately, it never did. These magazines also gave us like something like this too. Like, this is like the Ultimania. That's like every match is a dream match. Hulk Hogan versus Superstar Graham. The Steiner brothers against the Tolos brothers. Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk, and Dory Funk Sr. against Fritz Carey and David Von Erich. I mean, look at that. Bruiser Brody and Cactus Jack in a barbed wire cage match. I mean, oh yeah. The bloodier the better, right, with those guys. But, again, this is kind of neat. What is the most dangerous matches ever devised? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. There's the Russian chain match. That must be the Indian strap match. Manny Fernandez and Wahoo. Steel cage, barbed wire with Eddie Gilbert and Cactus Jack there, if you can see that. That's kind of neat. They also gave us interesting things, too, that I don't really know why. Something like, which of these men did you vote wrestling sexiest superstar? I don't know. I'm not sure guys were voting for that back in that era. Maybe they were. I don't know. But Rick Rude did end up winning it. So congratulations, Rick Rude, on a job done. It's a Seinfeld reference there for anyone wondering. Okay, so they also did top 20 stars of the wrestling. Superstar Dream Match Animal versus Hawk here too, by the way. But the Superstar, let's see who won. Ric Flair was the top wrestler for that. That was in summer of '89. Winter of '89, they did one as well for tag teams, and Elizabeth and Sensational Sherry was the dream match. For the tag teams, the Brainbusters were number one. I had this magazine. That's how I knew this. I had this as a kid. Robert Gibson, Jim Brunzell, Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, Ric Flair all talked about it. Yeah, Brainbusters were the top team at the time. I did have, when I was a kid, I had more of these magazines. Now I noticed something too. I want to say it was sometime in 1990. They ended up going to bi-monthly. For example, this here, August 1990, The Ultimate Warrior versus Ric Flair. So they ended up going from quarterly, which was, like I said, spring, summer, fall, winter, to every other month. So I had this one as a kid. I had Wrestling Superstars, Superstar Dream Match Wrestling Strongest Man competition. That was from June of 91. I also own October 91. The Superstar Dream Match there, by the way, is Andre the Giant versus Elegante, but you had These Men Must Be Banned, Earthquake, Rick Morton, Sergeant Slaughter, plus Undertaker, Typhoon, Nikita Koloff, Eric Embry, Colonel De Beers, DC Drake, and Kevin Sullivan for all the heinous and vicious things they've done to all the popular and good guy wrestlers over the years. That's actually, for Earthquake, I believe it was because he sat on Jake the Snake Roberts' Snake Damien. Remember that? That was crazy. I remember that. I was 10 years old when that happened. I remember they would pan away to Sean Mooney at the event center room when Earthquake would land on the snake. But they ended up showing it on Saturday night's main event. They showed Earthquake coming down on the bag of ground hamburger. It wasn't really Damien, people. It was ground hamburger. I did have this magazine as a kid too. This is from September 92. This is cool. They kind of got rid of the posters and now they do like just color paper in the middle. This one also, Mike Graham. I just watched the Dark Side of the Ring episode on him and his father, Eddie. And what a sad story that whole situation was, where Eddie killed himself, Mike killed himself, Mike's son killed himself, Eddie's dad killed himself. Oh my God, just crazy. But this magazine's famous for the Please Don't Hurt My Daddy story by Ricky Steamboat Jr., Richie Steamboat from his NXT days. That's when the Dangerous Alliance were breaking Ricky Steamboat's nose all the time and beating him up pretty bad. So I remember I think they even discussed that or something, that storyline or that article on WCW TV about that, saying how the son wrote in about Don't Hurt My Dad. So the last one that I have for the big style is October 93. And this is the tag team dream match of Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake against Sting and Davey Boy Smith. I think this was the last one until 1994 when they went back to quarterly. If this isn't the last one, I haven't found anything since to prove it differently. But when they went quarterly again, they went small, right? They did that. Look at that comic book style size. Superstar Dream Match here is Cactus Jack versus Doink. So the Dream Matches got a little more ridiculous, as you can see. I don't think that's anyone's dream match ever. Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair, yeah. Doink versus Cactus Jack, no. But, yeah, they're smaller. And, the only cool thing about the dream matches, though, is how detailed they went. Like, actually talking about what started the feud. Like, they had to actually have the match written out, like how it would go on. So that's kind of neat. But as time went on, they just got really, really bad. I don't even, like, this one here, it doesn't even say there is. Oh, down here it is. The Superstar Dream Match, the all-time WWF World Champion tourney. So they still did the dream matches, but they just kind of became second fiddle to what they were doing here. Like when you think about it, right? Like, look at, I don't know, Where's it at? Right here. Here's one. Boom. The dream match is right on the cover. Superstar Dream Match, World Championship Showdown, Bret Hart versus Ron Simmons, right? And then here, that's it. Like, where is the dream match? I don't even read it. I can't even see it on the cover. There's no, they don't even talk about it. So I'm sure it's in here. I mean, they do have posters in here again. They did go back to the posters. Oh, there's one on Shane Douglas. Ooh, an interview with Shane Douglas. I'm going to have to read this, actually, because I was a fan of Shane in ECW and WCW. And even WWF. I like Dean Douglas, let's be honest. Shane Douglas. Hulk Hogan. Shane Douglas got the Turkey Award. He fought and won the NWA belt, then dissed it. Hulk Hogan. There's more to WCW than Flair, but does he know it? Yeah. So, they kept going. This is spring 96. Luger's Rack is back. That's when he went to WCW, and that's when Hulk Hogan wasn't Hollywood Hogan here, folks. He was just wearing black because he was. That's when the Dungeon of Doom shaved off his mustache and all that kind of such, right? He was kind of flirting with the idea of rule breaking, but he didn't go through with it. He came back with the red and yellow. Watch out. Superstar Dream Match, Wrestling's Real World, MTV. What the? See, I mean, really, they got kind of ridiculous here. Anyways, I have a few of these. The last one I have is from, let's see. I don't know where it's at here. Oh, this is it. This is the last one I have. April 1999. The Governor versus the Future President. An unbelievable dream match with Jesse Ventura versus Hollywood Hogan. So that's what they still did it, but man, they just got kind of more ridiculous. And I just didn't care. And they also went back to monthly, as you can see. This is April 99. So they got rid of the quarterly, seasonal ones again. I don't know why they did. I couldn't even tell you what the last Wrestling Superstars is or when they changed back over, because I'm not really collecting that era. I have them because I got them in lots, or I bought them because of who was on the cover. If, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels or Diesel or, something like that is on the cover, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it to own. I like those guys. So I want them in my collection for sure. It just gets harder to collect certain magazines as time goes on because you just can't find them. Or I'm not too sure how often they came out because there's really no detailed thing online. If you go to Wikipedia and look up wrestling magazines, you're going to find a complete list of every single wrestling magazine that came out and the year it started and the year it finished. But you're not going to be able to find out if it was bi-monthly or monthly or quarterly or anything. There's just, as far as I'm concerned, I have not found any detailed website yet that says that. And if anyone out there knows one, please let me know, because I can't find it. I'm just doing the best I can through eBay and finding and kind of like piecing things together and kind of looking. You know how sometimes in the PWI especially, but I'm pretty sure they do it in the other magazines, you can open it up and you can see they'll tell you like what the last magazine was like 2 issues ago, and you can kind of base it on that, and you kind of get an idea of what you're missing or who was on the magazine cover. But yeah, anyways, before I trail off here too much, I do have some really old ones from Wrestling Superstars. I'm not too sure how I got these. I'm gonna say probably in a lot, because I don't think I would go out and buy them on my own. This is the first one I have is Spring 1980. The Superstar Graham's personal photo album. We got Andre the Giant's Brush with Death, The Man Who Wants Ken Patera and Ivan Putski to destroy each other. It's interesting. Superstar Graham's personal photo album. There it is. There's Nothing Predictable But Wahoo McDaniel. Like, these are okay. This is okay. It's kind of like falling apart here, but what do you expect for something that's that old? That's why I don't look at them. I got a few more. I got Bruno here with Fall of 1980, Bruno Sammartino, My 10 Toughest Matches. Then there's Winter 1980, The Men Who Must Be Banned from Wrestling. So they were even doing that back in 1980. Here we got Tommy Rich, Ken Patera, Austin Idol, and Dusty Rhodes all on the cover who need to be banned. Interesting too, these are called Sports Review Series if you look at the top. Wrestling Superstars. So I guess that's part of the Sports Review Wrestling series. I guess I don't know what they're doing here. Exclusive coverage: the greatest card in wrestling history. Backlund versus Flair, title versus title. Mr. Wrestling 2 versus Max Superstar. Freebirds versus Samoans. Plus Paul Orndorff versus Jimmy Snuka. Big John Studd versus Bad Leroy Brown. And Dusty Rhodes versus Magnificent Morocco. Sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that actually happened. I don't think those are dream matches. That must have actually happened. And in another one, we got Superstar interview with Bob Backlund. Wrestling can be proud of my 5 years as champion. Here we see him against Ken Patera, Superstar Graham, Ivan Koloff, and Adrian Adonis on the cover. So yes, I do have some of those older ones. That's from Spring '83. I don't have all of them from '80 through '83 there. I probably could get them if I looked hard. I mean, those were only out quarterly, so it wouldn't be that hard to get, the last few remaining seasons that I need, right? Like that's summer '83, so I need to get spring '83, fall '83, and winter '83. As for the months ones, those are harder, right? Because you're dealing with 12 issues instead of just 4. Even bi-monthly, you're dealing with 6 instead of 12. So bi-monthly is not that bad either. But like I said, I'm trying to get everything from 1980 to 2000, and there's proof there that I am missing some. I'm pretty set with 1982 all the way to 2000 for things, minus Sports Review Wrestling. I'm missing like 4 magazines in that, and same with PWI. I think I'm missing 4, which isn't bad. I could probably find them eventually. They're going to be kind of like the end things if I do, because I'll probably have to get them off eBay.com, get it from the USA, and if I do, that's fine then, because it's not a big deal, and I'm finishing the set. I'm kind of hoping out that eBay.ca or Marketplace or Kijiji will end up with them, but so far no luck. But yeah, this is the Wrestling Superstars. So it was a unique magazine. It was pretty much the synapse of it was the dream match, and you probably bought the magazine based on who was on the cover. If you saw Hogan versus Flair on the cover, you're either going to wonder a few things. One, is this happening? 2, did it happen? Something like that. And I think that's how this magazine sold. I personally didn't hate it. Even as a kid, I would buy it. I liked it. I mean, I owned like 4 or 5 magazines, right? And at the time, like I always said, I was based on the magazine. Pretty much was who was on the covers, how I usually based it on, unless that was like the only magazine on the stand at the time. Then yeah, I'd get it. But if there was like multiple ones, I always based it on who's on the cover, because that's the one you want to get, right? You want to get something that attracts you, that you like. And I feel that something like this, you'll want to buy. You'll want to see, Ron Simmons on the cover. Boom, that's pretty sweet. I like that. Something like this, I'm not too keen on. I probably would pass that over for something else. But we do have a dream match here of Dusty Rhodes versus Goldust. But still, it is what it is. And these magazines were cool. Like I said, I don't really have a lot of information on the end of them. I don't know when they stopped because I don't really have that many at the end. And like I said, the ones I got, I pretty much got in lots. Maybe one day I will go through and try to figure it out. Maybe I will try to find them. But even when I do look up wrestling magazines on eBay right now for ebay.ca in Canada, it's pretty much just Pro Wrestling Illustrated come up. The odd Inside Wrestling and The Wrestler will come up, but it's just a lot of PWI, and it's not the ones I need because I already own them. So I wait. I patiently wait, and in hopes that one day I will finish this for good. But until then, it does give me something to strive for and enjoy. So yeah, if anyone out there had any of these, let me know. If any of these dream matches spoke to you, what were they, right? Like, that's the beauty about dream matches. They could be anything, any time period, any situation. That's the beauty of it. And I think that they did a good job doing that on these magazines. They picked the big name stars, and that's what you wanted to see, except for Cactus Jack versus Doink. I don't know who the hell thought that was a good idea. I honestly don't. I like Cactus Jack, and Doink was okay when it was Matt Bourne. who's the other guy? Otis Apollo? Was that who the other one was? I didn't care for that. I didn't care for goofy good guy Doink with Dink. I didn't care for that. Heel Doink was where it's at. And he should have been Jerry Lawler's personal clown during that time in 1993. I know Lawler got Doink to wrestle Bret Hart at SummerSlam and faked that knee injury and then beat up Bret and all that. But they should have had Doink be Lawler's personal clown the entire time, like the court jester. That would have been awesome. Anyways, I'm kind of, trailing off here on something else. But yeah, definitely these magazines are fun. Like if you don't get the dream match, you get those cool top 20 charts of who was the best wrestler, best tag team, whatever, who was the sexiest wrestler. I mean, that's apparently needed. At least they I think, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they have Missy Hyatt be like, she could have easily been sexiest. She was hot. She was female. This is June 1993. So, the dream match here is Big Van Vader versus Yokozuna. Again, that happened in 1996 in the WWF when Yoko turned babyface on Camp Cornette. So a lot of these dream matches did come true. That's the kind of neat thing. The ones that didn't come true, of course, are the ones that were before their times. Like you weren't going to see Hulk Hogan versus Bruno Sammartino or superstar Billy Graham. That just wasn't going to happen. But the ones who are currently competing at the time in different organizations, we actually ended up seeing them wrestle. Like this one here, the Superstar Dream Match, Rick Steiner and Steve Williams versus Scott Steiner and Terry Gordy. Now that would have been something, right? The matches between the Steiners and Doc and Gordy in 92 were incredible, but I'm sure they would be just as incredible if you had them on each other's side and fighting each other. So yeah, definitely try to find these if you want something fun to read. Maybe you have a dream match out there you always wanted to see, and it could be written in one of these magazines. So definitely check them out. So yeah, leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Again, I'm having fun with this. I hope you guys are enjoying it, getting a peek into these magazines. Maybe you're seeing a magazine that you didn't know existed and want to get now, or maybe you're seeing one that you forgot even existed and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to look for that now and get it. So yeah, let me know if you want. I mean, honestly, there's comments here on YouTube for a reason. So I like having, so far I've enjoyed the banter I've had with people leaving comments on my videos. It's fun. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring people together here and kind of like make the wrestling magazine community kind of like, connect with each other. So thanks. Keep watching. I'll keep doing these videos as long as you keep watching. And for now, I guess I'll talk to you later.